Hello, Aries, and welcome to your February 2025 forecast. I hope that everybody's doing great. It's really nice to see you. You'll notice from the backdrop that I'm actually shooting this remotely. I'm visiting with some family and I'll be visiting with friends next month as well. So the backdrop is going to change and the format may adjust a little bit, but the quality and the content is going to stay the same. So thank you for your flexibility and I hope you enjoy the change of scenery here. This is your monthly forecast. It's going to help you navigate the next month ahead. And basically, I always like to focus on themes of empowerment. And if there's any areas of opportunity where you can steer in a better direction, obviously, I'm going to try to help you do that. I want to begin first and foremost with channeled messages. So there were a couple of things that were coming through in dreams, and I wrote them down here. I just want to refer to them. But one of the things was, not necessarily feeling like you need to read from a script. And so it's important to be in the moment. If you've ever seen really well-versed public speakers, they may look at a line or two on their script, but they have it all here and they have it all here. And it's about being able to connect with the audience. So I think this is really important for those of you that may be at an interview or a first date, or just trying to really, come across to someone authentically. Do your homework. That's the most important piece. Rehearse, if there's an important presentation. But at a certain point, all you're going to need is bullet points because it should be sort of ingrained in your energy. And it's then just a matter of pressing play. That's kind of what Spirit is showing me, and allow for everything to come through. All right. Don't be too rehearsed. And also on the opposite end of the spectrum, you don't want to forget to do the research. It's that happy medium. Okay. Nobody expects perfection. Go against the stereotype. So this stereotype could be something that people are placing on you, or you may have some biases that Spirit is kind of encouraging you to look beyond this month. Keep an open mind, listen, and if you are not getting that same sort of energy, raise your hand and make sure that it's reciprocated. Or maybe this is the sort of clarity that you need, that there's something better than this person, place, or thing that isn't connecting with you. And finally, I was shown a beautiful sign. So I'm in snowy weather right now, and it would be too late to do this, but I think what it's showing me is that things are happening beneath the surface. So to the vision, I saw bulbs being planted in the ground. And there's always this feeling of, you don't see anything, so nothing's happening. But in the wintertime, they're putting down their roots, they're drinking up the water, they're getting ready to push through the snow. And I get that there's a lot of stuff going on beneath the surface. So don't be so hard on yourself if you're not getting the immediate sort of accolades or feedback or support that you think you deserve. It's coming. There's a little bit of energy to push through here. And it could be a springtime message for those of you, wherever you may be located, whatever spring might be on your calendar. So in the Northern Hemisphere, it's not too far away, but we're looking at maybe 3 or 4 months from now, you're going to start to see some significant progress. So what we're going to look at right now is how to lay the groundwork, where the growth may already be happening, and if there's any potential, pitfalls or challenges that you can avoid. That's the whole purpose of coming through each and every month to meet up. Let's turn the camera down and get started. All right, close your eyes if you will. We're going to take a couple of moments here just to clear our energy, clear our minds. Focus, if you will, on the rising sun. Since I'm in a snowy backdrop, let's use that. Imagine that there is a beautiful sheet of snow all around you and you can carve a circle around your body. You can see the sun shining in that circle and that allows you to connect with Source. Call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, and let's get started. All right, I have to move to the side here for a second. As we take a look here at your catalyst this month, we have the Wolf coming through, and it reads wilderness, leadership, kinship. Some of you may be at a point where you're seeking more of a sense of community. You may feel a little bit like this lone wolf trying to figure out, where do I fit in? I think of wolves also as very instinct-based. They're listening to what's coming through, not questioning it that much. And I really think that in this moment in time, the more you can do that, the better it's going to be. The leadership piece is really interesting here. So being willing to stand up, to face an adversary or stand up for a dream or an idea that you have. All of these things are coming through. The wild part is also simply about kind of like marching to the beat of your own drum and not feeling like it all has to perfectly align to what's expected. Sometimes when you veer a little bit off the path, the beaten path, then things start to get interesting. All right, let's take a look at the spread here and see if there's anything that kind of jumps out to me as your reader. I love what we're seeing here in the center here with the High Priestess. She's definitely connected to the idea that you want to listen to yourself because she's touching all of the center cards there. An opportunity is knocking. You have to be discerning if it's what you want. Most things are good. There's something in the environment that I want to dig a little deeper into, but let's take it one card at a time. So the first thing that we're seeing here is basically an invitation to slow down. Knight of Swords is a very fast-paced card. You can actually see the person running, not just running, but getting to another vehicle that can take them even faster. So sometimes we just need to slow down for a minute and make sure that we're aligned to where we want to be. And if you can do that, in many ways, it may help you avoid what we're seeing here with this Ten of Swords. So that's the hope, that's the goal. You're allowed to change direction. You're allowed to also change your mind. And this card is encouraging you to do a little bit of both if necessary. At the very least, just take a step back before embarking on the next leg of the journey. Okay? Take care of yourself. Rushing doesn't actually save time. It can cause additional challenges. So please be kind to your body, be kind to yourself, and take it one step at a time. Now, specific to this deck, you'll see that he has a bow and arrow. And it's also saying that, actually I was talking to my cousin today and he was saying, it's always better to be moving towards something than to be running away from it. So thank you, cousin, and thank you, Spirit, for kind of working with him. So I feel like that's great advice, isn't it? If you don't know where you're going, or if you're just running, you're just running. So take a moment to strategize and to tune in. And that is nicely connected to the next card here. So I have High Priestess energy coming through, and she's basically saying, now is the time to really trust what you're seeing. And if I pull it close to the camera, you'll notice that you can actually see her eyes shining through. So even when your eyes are closed, you're seeing, sometimes even more clearly than when they're open. Meditate if you haven't taken time to do so lately. Also allow yourself to be as creative as possible in this period of time. And know that if you can see it, if you believe it, that is like half of the way to the finish line. And maybe there's a little bit of a need this month to be persuasive. We saw again the catalyst saying it's time to stand up, to be the leader. You don't have to do it alone though, because the word on the side there is kinship. So it's a really good time to forge partnerships in your life. All right, let's see what else is going on here. We're going to go to the deep past next, Five of Wands. Five of Wands representing, for some of you, maybe it's just not enough. You're putting in a lot of work, but not seeing a return on the work. You're feeling maybe that there's constant competition, or that there's just not a lot of, it's not all panning out at the end. So sometimes that's a good thing to know, like I've had enough, or I'm not seeing the sort of cooperation and collaboration that I'd like. You could also step up and be the leader. He's reaching for that flame, for that fire. And he's saying, let me show you how. And leadership is the next in this suit, Six of Wands. I'm not seeing it in a certain sector of your life. It could be where you spend your time, because again, if we look in the environment, that's where the Ten of Swords is. So we want to make sure that you don't work yourself into exhaustion, because this can also be burnout. So know when enough is enough, and take care of yourself, because there also may be a lack of leadership wherever it is that you might be spending your time and energy. So this is perhaps for some of you, the wake-up call that you need for that, or at least the affirmation. Let's take a look now at what's going on in the recent past. We have the Four of Cups, And this represents perhaps a blessing in disguise. This could also be for some of you an encouragement to look beyond expectations. Because if we box ourselves in too much by what we want something to look like, when we want it to happen, etc., or if we tune in too much to someone else's expectations, sometimes it limits our scope and what we can do, and even our ability to see what's right in front of us. So in this card, you can see in the corner, the pot of gold is right there, but she's just not looking. She's only focusing on what she can see or what she expects to see. So it kind of goes back to what we're looking at here with the High Priestess. If you can allow yourself to see beyond what's obvious, especially here because her eyes are closed and she's tuning in, there must be something more. That's really what you want to allow yourself to do in this moment in time. Let's take a look now at your crowning card. We have the Page of Cups coming through here, and it's a reminder that dreams can come true. But you have to basically believe in what's possible, sometimes even believe in the impossible. And what we're getting here in the corner with the pig flying is just that. Sometimes things can surprise you. Following your passion is always a good thing, and this card is absolutely connected to that. It's creative, it's passionate, it's compelling, and the more you connect to your what really makes you happy and excited, the better it's going to be this month. Love and relationships could also be taking center stage. You may be deciding to either focus on creating more connections in your life. If you already have someone that you care about, you may be deepening that sort of connection as well. And this is a great time to do all of the above. Finally, again, just tapping into your own creative power, because High Priestess and Page of Cups are very much connected. He's a little bit more in the heart, she's a little bit more in the third eye, but you bring the two together and great things can happen. There could also simply be some good news. Pages are communicative, and so the Page of Cups would be something that makes you happy, makes you proud, makes your heart skip a beat in the best possible ways. All right, let's see what's coming through in the near future. Three of Cups. Three of Cups came through in the reverse position, and this represents for some of you a desire to pull back a little bit. There may be a lot of social events or activities going on, and part of you is just saying, you know what? I need a break. And that's fine. It's absolutely okay to just sort of step back and take care of yourself. There could also be some impatience when it comes to where you stand in a relationship or even in a contract with someone else. So in a job situation, this would be sort of like being, a contractor. And you may want something that is more predictable. And so you want to get hired, or you're temp to perm and you want it to be permanent now. In a relationship, perhaps you've been dating and you're just wondering, are we ready to take it to the next level? Because it can be exhausting to sort of be in that sort of ongoing courtship process without knowing if there's going to be the sort of result that you want. So this is a chance to figure out what you want, and when you're ready, communicate that to others. With the Three of Cups reversed, make sure that you don't say no to a good opportunity just because you're shy or just because you're uncertain. There is still a possibility for you to, really shine when you get out there. I like to look at this as a social butterfly that's unexpectedly good at what they do, kind of just being out there mixing and mingling, but they're kind of like a hermit at heart. So if you need to go into a bigger social situation, you can do it. It's just a matter of not letting the pressure sort of build up too much. And maybe because we're looking at a partnership card here, you can go with other people. So there's power in numbers. You're not alone. Reach out, ask for some help, whether it's just generally speaking in life or specifically when it comes to an important conversation, important meeting, or a gathering. Interestingly enough, as we look at the card that's associated with you, we have Seven of Wands energy. This is normally connected with success. So what I was just talking about with Three of Cups, that there might be a lot going on, it tracks with this. You get to be discerning. I think the key is not to kind of go one direction or another. You don't have to say yes to everyone. You don't have to say no to everyone. Pick and choose what really connects best with you and let the rest go. This is also about working smarter, not necessarily harder. So also making sure that if there's a lot going on, that you're not trying to be perfect in each and every aspect of it. If you can delegate, do that. If you can reschedule things, do that. Basically, there's only so much that any one person can do in a given day, and this is really asking you to tune in and use that solar plexus. Speak up, say no if there's something that just doesn't feel right. Let's move on to the environment. This is one of the most important cards because it shows what's going on around you, And for many of you, you're getting ready to walk away from something that doesn't feel right. One of the reasons I love this illustration is we're not looking at someone with 10 swords in their back and a pool of blood. You know, it can be very graphic. Instead, we're looking at someone that's survived or is about to avoid that outcome. And the reversal of the 10 of swords is saying, I don't need to go there. I've been there before, or I know where that path leads. So this is about sometimes just taking the high road, walking away from an argument that is not constructive, not putting so much time and energy into something that there's nothing left for you. Basically, this card is saying, heed the signs and signals along the way and focus instead on things that matter. We have, this card representing you being on the heels of success. Then we see learning, and then we see opportunity. So this, to me, seems like something that just may be there in order to give you a nudge in the right direction. It is avoidable, or at least you see the writing on the wall. And right here, right now, it's important to decide, you know what, I don't need to go down that path. 10 of Swords can be health, it can be work, it can be a relationship. But it's very clear when it happens, because typically you just feel this sense of, enough is enough. It can be pain, or it can be emotional sort of fatigue, but whatever's coming through, heed the warning, please, because again, there's so much to look forward to this month. I really want you to be able to capitalize on that. In the area of hope, spheres, and opportunities, we have the Eight of Pentacles. It's in the upright position. This can represent a desire to learn, to go back to school, to get something finished, maybe really put your focus into getting organized or building or creating something. Whatever you invest in energetically, the Eight of Pentacles shows that it's a wise investment, and it really encourages you to kind of soak it all in. It is a great card for education, any type of education, not just going to school. It can be training or mentorship, or you learning something and really kind of integrating that and putting it to practice. Speaking of which, the final card here is Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is reversed. And this is, for some of you, a little nudge from the universe also to say, hey, I want this, or this is lacking, or what do you think about this? You're pulling the opportunity in rather than just having your hand outstretched waiting for it. So there's a little bit more work when it's reversed, but it's nonetheless sweet. And there's a lot that's possible if you're willing to, like I said, ask. You never know until you ask, and that's what this card represents. You may also be deciding in this moment to invest more in yourself. We talked about going to school. That's a great Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You may also be looking at your investments and saying, I want to use this in order to purchase a house, take care of myself in this way or that way. It's okay. It's just a matter of deciding and moving it over if you're ready to do that. But you may be noticing in some situations that there's a lack of reciprocity, or there's just a lack in general. And in that case, the Ace of Pentacles is saying, I need this or I want this. And that helps create the necessary movement to bring it about. Let's expand the forecast now and take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. This month I'm changing it up a little bit and using another deck of cards for the placements of the expanded forecast, and then we'll drill down as we normally do. In the area of health, we have the Eight of Cups coming through, which is a reminder to take a step back, particularly if there's an important decision to make. Sometimes when you're in the throes of stress or anxiety, or as we were looking at just a couple moments ago, perhaps burnout, what you need to do is the research here, and the two eights are working together. So we have the Eight of Pentacles here, and now we have the Eight of Cups here. So research the opportunities, ask for help if you need it, lean on some friends if you need to, and most importantly, take a break. Get away from it. By removing yourself from a stressful environment, that Ten of Swords, or a stressful thought, you can start to see things more clearly. And this is about leaving the door open. So if there's something that you're just not sure, I'm ready to leave this or not, you may be able to negotiate literally like a sabbatical for those of you that are looking at a work situation. That was interesting. That's spirit speaking pretty loudly there. So you may be able to shake things up a little bit and create a sabbatical. I think it was the fireplace. In the traditional illustration, we also see someone going into nature, and this card is very connected to that. So just as I've been doing actually this month, I'm in the mountains. Sometimes it's nice to get away from the congestion of city or work, and when you're away from it, everything else starts to come into focus. So don't be afraid to do all of the above if it feels right to you. Just generally looking at the cards, let's see if there's anything else that is coming to top of mind here. I do think it's a really important time to focus on your meditation. We have that high priestess energy. She's helping you see the hidden blessing. She's helping you slow down, and she's encouraging you to connect with like-minded individuals. The other things that I'm seeing here, if there is a little tiny ache or pain, it's so much better to talk about it when it's at the beginning stage than when it kind of festers and becomes worse. So be communicative with your healthcare professionals if something doesn't feel right. Also, just get ahead of stuff. Make sure that you schedule in your annual physical, your cleaning of your teeth, anything that is just good maintenance. So good preventative maintenance, now is the time to get it done. And there might be something lacking. Standard disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, but this has to do with minerals and protein and just having enough foundational elements in what you're eating. So there may be something lacking in your diet. Just make sure that you do a quick gut check, literally, of that and see what feels right. And if you need some assistance there, obviously, that's when you talk to your doctor. Overwhelmingly, though, the cards are pretty good. If you're going to get the Ten of Swords, I'd rather get it in the environment because it's an external stress rather than something going on in your body. So that portends good things. And one last thing, I just want to highlight the catalyst one more time. Wildness, getting out, doing something that just for fun. Like the Three of Cups can be a party or a dance, something like that. Let your wild side come through. Leadership and kinship. So speak up if you need something. Hang out with some people if you're feeling like you need that social connection. And be the authentic version of yourself. And all of those things are going to help you in every facet of your life. Let's now step into the energy of wealth and see what's coming through for you this month. All right, so in wealth we have Two of Cups. Not bad. The Two of Cups is reversed, so let's talk about that, and then I'll break down this category a little bit. So there's an intertwining, almost like overbearing energy in this Two of Cups. It's hard to see where one person ends and the other begins. If you look really closely, you can see her dress here. But there's almost an illusion that they're attached at the hip. So there may be a need for better boundaries when we're looking at wealth. A boss that wants you to work evenings and the weekends, even when it's not part of the agreement. Somebody that is perhaps coming across in a romantic way or wanting more from an engagement. It can just be a client that's reaching for more because we have that card coming through here, and you have to say when enough is enough. So I really think it has to do with boundaries overall. Now, there could be an unlikely but a very positive partnership and someone who could really help you when it comes to delegation, because this Seven of Wands needs someone to delegate to in order to kind of keep that cool, calm, collected energy that we see there. So I think one thing to be mindful of is it's okay to ask for help. Now would be a great time to do that. All right, let's break this down into a few categories. We'll start with those who have a job. Then we're going to take a look at entrepreneurs, job seekers, those that are students, and then retirees. All right, let's get started with those that are currently working. Very interesting card came through for you. So we have the Six of Swords in reverse. As I said, it's an important month for many of you when it comes to doing what's healthy, which also may tie into what's best for your wealth, to take a step back. The Six of Swords can show something that is overdue. You should have taken the step a while ago. And for some of you, what we were looking at here in the environment, the Ten of Swords, it could be that little, it's like the irritant that makes you do what you need to do. Let's not go there if we don't have to. Six of Swords is saying it's time to make a move. Now, if we look at this card in the upright position, you can see her firmly between past and present. She has her bags packed, but there's part of her that still hasn't released everything. There could be regrets, there could be wishes, there could just be the unknown. And this is saying that's part of a journey always, is, hoping for the best, dealing with things as they come. But what I do notice in the water here is that it doesn't look unmanageable. It's just a requirement here for you to be a little bit maybe more flexible than you might be used to. So overall, I like this. It's time to take a step in the direction that feels right for you. It could be education, leadership. You may want to change jobs. If that's the case, I think the important thing here is to do your research. I do think you have a good chance of doing that. We'll talk more about it when we go to job seekers in a moment, but you're not alone. Do be mindful of who you talk to with the Three of Cups there, because gossip can get around. In this situation, if you are thinking of leaving or if you're really stressed out, I feel like you need to find an external person to kind of like vent those frustrations to and to sort of sort out what it is that you want to do. All right. Otherwise, you might just be traveling a little bit here. So for those of you that are happy in your job, there could be some unexpected, maybe even some unwanted traveling that's coming forth. So try to be flexible if you can. All right. So far, so good with that. Looking at those of you that own your own business or are an entrepreneur, Queen of Cups is encouraging you to really lead with passion. We actually saw that in the crowning position, right? With the Page of Cups. This could be marketing in a way that's more playful, less serious, more authentic. This could also just be, expressing yourself more than you normally do, being a little bit more front and forward in communication. A great time to look at things like design, marketing, and communication. The Queen of Cups can feel it out and find the right tone and the right time for each thing to come through. Let me see if there's anything specifically for those of you that might be managing your own company. Okay, so you could be burned out or the people that are working for you could be burned out. It's time to reward people that have been working hard. It might be time to hire so that you have good retainment. Otherwise, it might just be difficult to keep up with your demand. So make sure that you're doing the right sort of like calculations for supply and demand in the year ahead. Okay, as we take a look at job seekers, we have the Devil in the upright position. As an aspect of your own sort of mind or self, this is saying don't put limits on yourself. Not limiting your potential, in other words, saying, oh, I can only do this, or I'm too young for that or too old for this, I don't have enough experience. You know what? Let the hiring manager decide. Put your hat in the ring for consideration and try not to sort of sell yourself short, okay? Now, this is about contracts, absolutely, and we don't want to sign a contract with this guy. So let's look at a few of the sort of areas where there may be some potential pitfalls if you're applying for jobs. So as we look here in the environment, we have 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords can come through when there's a burnout sort of potential in a job, a lot of overtime, a lot of things that aren't in the contract. And by the way, you definitely want to read the fine print. So there may be something here that you have like buyer's remorse later when you end up signing and thinking, that's not what I signed up for. So definitely read the fine print and figure out what's going on with morale. 3 of Cups reverse can be gossip. 10 of Swords can be burnout. People could be talking about that. Look online, see what former employees have said. Talk to some people if you can. Get the inside scoop. And that's really what this is about, is researching it. But it's also about the fine print, since the 8 of Pentacles can be words and looking in books. So definitely research and read up. Other things that that you should be mindful of in this period of time. If you feel like a gut instinct, I need to try this or I don't need to try this, listen to it. You're already being led in the right direction. It's just a matter of trusting that first intuition. A lot of creativity coming forth in this spread. So if you're desiring that, make sure that where you're going, you have a chance to express that creative side and you're not feeling sort of stifled. Other than that, I think we've hit on the main things. I do think that when it comes to contract negotiation, you're going to have to ask. Could take a couple of rounds. I do feel like there could be something like 10 to 20% less than what you were expecting, and you're going to have to work to get in the middle. Okay? And that's everything for job seekers. Just try not to get in your own way when it comes to thinking that things aren't going to work. All right. Let's move on to students. Take care of yourself. The 5 of Pentacles often comes through when you're already at that burnout place, and it sometimes is just a cold or flu. This can also be a lack of support. It's not always a parental card. It can be teachers and mentors. Sometimes people leave you sort of like wanting or needing more. In this case, they're almost doing you a favor by letting you know that they can't give you what you need. So find a better connection out there. Find another mentor or advisor or someone that you can talk to. I like this 5 of Pentacles because it is somewhat optimistic. We have a key behind this person. They have to process their emotions, but then they can open the door. They don't need anybody else to do it. And so like one of the lessons right now could be this sense of self-reliance and self-confidence that can only come through once you have no option but to open the door yourself. As we take a look here at retirees, we have one of the most powerful cards coming through. It's Justice in reverse. So in the upright position, it's balance, it's yes, it's everything working out the way you want to. But when it's reversed, sometimes you have to say no. Oftentimes you have to just put a line in the sand and say, we didn't agree to this. This is what I need, or this is what you need to be doing. So there may be family members, there might be things going on even with your finances where you just have to speak up and say, wait a second, this is what we talked about, not this. You may also just be seeking better balance in your life. So if we kind of take a look at the cards here, let's see where there might be things out of balance and where you can put them into balance. All right, so out of balance things. Maybe too much of your time and energy in activities. And for some of you, it feels like this is a time to go inward. This is introspective. This is introspective. This and this, they're both kind of like mindful and meditative, even though I wouldn't normally think of this as a meditation card, the Seven of Wands. So it feels like you want to take a step back. And if you are looking at spending some time with others, it's like one or two quality individuals. Mutual reciprocity, mutual attraction, and also we saw when we were looking at health, there is a connection here. It might be a great time to take a trip, to travel, to open up your heart and open up your mind. All right, let's go ahead. Speaking of potential relationships, let's look at love. Let's see what's coming through in all aspects of your personal life. Okay, so we have the Sun in reverse coming through here. This is a really interesting card. As your own sort of card, it would represent what I just talked about with retirees, a decision to take care of yourself. And Sun energy in reverse also shows that you might be holding on to something longer than you need to. It's typically a baby in tarot, and it's about birthing, releasing, creating, not holding on to something any longer. It's also a card of empowerment, and when it's reversed, it's saying now is a time to really focus on strengthening your solar plexus, finding and using your voice. All of the stuff around boundaries that keeps coming up totally resonates with this. And for some of you, there could be an unexpected love interest or maybe birth in your life or connection. So let's break it down just like we did before so we can get some specifics. We're going to take a look first at those that are in existing relationships. And then we'll take a look at those that are seeking love. Really good card for that. And then those of you that are happy, single and happy, I should say. Happy no matter what. All right, so we're going to start off first with a very interesting card for those currently in a relationship. Stress management is so important. You and or your partner may be experiencing a little bit more stress than usual. Sleep may be lacking, and that's one of the most important things to bring back into balance if it's not there. Typically, this is ruled by the energy of fear and uncertainty. So one of the ways to cut through this is simply to speak to the partner and say, I see you, I hear you, or I appreciate you. And ask a question. Say, I don't understand, what is this? Or I feel a little bit nervous about this. Do you want to talk? So I think communication is key. The burnout energy of the Ten of Swords also is in the Nine of Swords. So sleep quality, sleep quantity, stress management, and open and kind communication are really, really important. If you need help, ask for help in this. Looking at some other aspects of things that you can be focusing on if you're in a relationship, like I said, there could be a new addition to your life, a baby. There could also be something going on at work or in your family that's out of your control, and that's what's creating the stress. The 9 and 10 definitely work in tandem. Here's the cool thing. I believe you can see your way through this. It takes some work, but I feel like you guys can make it happen. It is give and take. So communicate your expectations, look for the hidden blessings, and if you're willing to do the work, there is love to be found. So yeah, it's a little bit of work this month, but it is manageable. The one little interesting piece here is Three of Cups. There could be someone from the past coming in, or there could be a family member that's trying to insert themselves in the middle of things, when it may not actually be their business. All right, let's move on to the next category. If you're looking for love, you can find it. Lovers in the upright actually would just be an affirmative yes. When it's reversed, it's saying, remember, the things that you seek in others you have within. The more you cultivate those energies within, the easier and sooner you're going to find that partnership in the exterior. What I also get with this is it could be unexpected in the way, shape, form that the person shows up. And I'm seeing an Archer here, so there could be a Sagittarius energy that comes through as well. Overall, pretty good stuff. Let me see if there's anything else to be mindful of. There could be an attachment, like, unless you say it's exclusive, you might meet someone who is just open to dating, but they're not exclusively looking for like marriage and partnership right off the bat. I do think you can find a partner, but it feels like there's some internal healing that needs to be done first. And the water sign energy comes forth as the best connection. So Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Or an unexpected Sagittarius in the mix, since I'm seeing the bow and arrow there. Okay, overall pretty good. Let's move on now to those that are single and happy. What a productive month this is shaping up to be. Three of Pentacles. Okay, so you got both of the learning cards. This card is one of apprenticeship. This one is expertise or mastery. And that basically means that if you set your mind to do something, if you go into that Eight of Pentacles energy, you're going to come out of the month with the Three of Pentacles. And trust me, it's actually an upgrade on this. This is a card of, like I said, mastery. It's great for writers. It's great for teachers, for curriculums, for anything written that you want to put out into the world. It's a great time for all of that. And again, maybe creating something that you have been wanting to do for a long time. I see a lot of love going into what they're putting into that sort of loom there, or not loom, but it looks like they're knitting something. So each stitch, each step, each day, really drink it in and make the most of it, okay? Again, travel does come through for those of you that have the time, energy, and inclination to do so. So I just wanted to highlight that as well. All right, that brings us to your Destiny card. And this is just a perfect Destiny card. 10 of Wands, completion. Look at all the fruitful, bountiful energy on her back there, but sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. The 10 of Wands knows when to let it go. Now, also realizes just how close they are to the finish line. So take solace in how far you've come. Don't put too much pressure on yourself or on others. And in doing so, I feel like you're going to if we look at the last card, you're going to get to that ace much faster. You're going to ace the month, right? All right, let's go ahead and focus on one final question. This can be anything that you still have that I haven't answered yet. Let me just get to the graphic here. So I'd like you to focus on it and just hold it in your mind, and then let me go ahead and shuffle and see what Spirit has to say. It's a great card for this. Okay, so if you ask a yes or no, the Six of Cups is a yes. The reversal of the Six of Cups shows you that it could be closer to you than you think, coming from a close friend or family member. But if we just take out yes/no questions, Six of Cups is about getting back to that inner child. So we see the adult male and dog here, and then we see the little boy and the puppy. So you're reconnecting, hopefully, in this time with things that made you happy as a child, or things that just bring out a jovial, playful side. That's also why we got the sun energy earlier. Six of Cups in reverse could also be a reunion with a loved one, a friend, someone that you haven't talked to in a long time. And if you can get past the awkwardness, it actually feels like it's going to be really stellar. And it'll feel like simultaneously no time at all has passed, but you also can see just how much time has passed. There may be a chance to rekindle something here. Friendship, love, or partnership. I like it. It's a great note to end on. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your month, and again, for being patient as I kind of am going into different locations over this period of time. Show me some love if you will. If you enjoyed this, you can like and subscribe. This will help you know when I post some new content. I'll be launching a podcast very soon, so make sure that you do subscribe so you don't miss out. Also hit the bell icon. Following me on social media is another great way to make sure that you don't miss out. All major platforms, I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. You can also find me on Blue Sky at nicholasashbaugh.com. That's also my website, so feel free to look there if you need more information about me. To give back, you can do so with super stickers, super chat, and memberships. And just a quick reminder, I don't offer private readings, nor do I use direct messages. So if you see anybody doing that, just be smart about it. Block, report, let me know about it. And I want to end with gratitude. Thank you so much for being the absolute best part of what I do here on YouTube. I appreciate you, I value you, and I hope you got something out of this. From my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. I'll see you soon.